Hi, I'm Whitney Espich, the CEO of the MIT Alumni Association, and I hope you enjoy this digital production created for alumni and friends like you.
And we will say hello and good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining today's program. It's our MIT Career Lunch and Learn resume workshop with recruiters. I am Joe from your MIT Alumni office in Cambridge, working from my home office, of course, today. If you're like me, maybe you've wrestled your laptop back from your children or your dogs or your in-laws to join us today, but I'm glad you're here. And I'm really glad that we've got 4 panelists here today from Knotch, Lev Capital, Mercari, and Nasuni. And I'll ask them to introduce themselves in a moment. First, some housekeeping briefly. We are recording this webinar and we will make an archive version of it available on the MIT Alumni Association YouTube channel within a week of broadcast. We are sponsored in part by MIT Professional Education and MIT Sloan Executive Education. And we're here today to talk about some best practices in crafting resumes, whether you're right out of MIT or you're an experienced hire 10 years, 20 years, 30 years out and looking for that next great opportunity. Reminder that after our chat with our panelists today about some of your resumes that you've submitted, we'll invite each company to host a brief breakout to talk a little bit more about their hiring processes, hiring needs, current opportunities. And we sent links for these breakouts to you this afternoon in an email confirmation. As a reminder, you also got it with the original registration if you registered for this webinar a month ago. It's with that email. I'll also post those into the chat. So if you can open the chat in your Zoom browser, you'll be able to see those breakout links. Throughout the hour, you can submit your questions using the Q&A feature in Zoom. If you don't automatically see the Q&A feature, you can open it usually on the bottom of the toolbar, drag your mouse around the edges of your screen and you'll find it. You can also tweet comments using hashtag #MITAlum. So at this point, let's jump right in and ask our panelists to introduce themselves, talk a little bit about what their company does, what their current opportunities are, and anything else about their own personal bios they wish to share. And why don't we go in alphabetical order of company names. So Rob, I believe it's you with Knotch.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming, enjoying the webinar today. I really hope that you get something out of this, and I know that we will as panelists as well. I want to just start off, as Joe mentioned, just to introduce myself. So again, my name is Rob. I am the talent acquisition lead at Knotch, and Knotch is a content intelligence platform. So what that means is we help enterprise brands understand how their content marketing performs. Ultimately, it's a software company. You may have heard the term SaaS before, or software as a service, SaaS. There are a lot of those companies in major tech hubs around the United States, New York being one of them. I am here in the epicenter of the pandemic right now, New York. And Knotch did something very interesting during this time, which was to put everybody remote as early as possible. What it taught us was that we were going to be able to be flexible in case we needed to be fully remote. Turns out a week after we did that, the order was said to, of course, like start breaking up large gatherings. And then right after that, about another week, it was mandated that we all work from home. So I'm glad we did it early. We do a lot of things at Knotch to keep people engaged, but ultimately our software is still important. We're monitoring communications, and those communications today, as you know, you open the news, your first thing you're reading is about coronavirus. Knotch is giving away all of their analytics software for free for any COVID-19 and crisis communication monitoring. So that's how we're just like helping out the clients and maybe even prospects for us in the future to stay resilient during this time, but also just to give back a little bit to people. We know we do this well, and you know, in addition to charitable giving and staying really in touch with the community and our employees, we're doing that for our clients and prospects as well with the software. Some open roles that we have, we can discuss a little bit down the line, but we did cut a lot of hiring due to this. I'd be really interested to hear from the other panelists how they're handling hiring during this time as well. But thank you again for having me.
Thank you. To you, Sammy at Lev Capital.
Hey, hey everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Sammy. I'm a co-founder of Lev Capital. We are a venture-backed commercial mortgage brokerage, which is fancy for basically saying that we are automating debt actions for commercial real estate. So if a hotel needs financing or someone wants financing to build a multifamily property, we're using software to find the best financing options almost instantaneously. If people need more information, I'm happy to go into the weeds on it in more detail. We are just a $2.5 million seed round a couple of months back, and are still actively hiring, though as I'm sure everyone is going to mention, less so than before this whole COVID outbreak happened. We are looking for, engineers with 2+ years of experience to help us build out our front end and our back end. And yeah, looking for people who are passionate about real estate and have a knack for building great tools. So hope that was helpful.
Good, thank you. And Sammy, on behalf of us, I will just chime in. Your audio is a little choppy. I know you're in exile right now from your office, but if you can find I don't know, wave your phone around, but we will certainly love hearing from you. But
yeah, I'll put it on hotspot.
We'll do your best. Thank you. And Mok from Mercari.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Mok. PhD CCL 2002. Started some companies, small, and then one of them got acquired by PayPal. Moved to San Jose from Boston. Stuck around, started another company which failed. Went to Samsung in Korea, actually. Came back. Now I'm with Mercari. We are a C2C e-marketplace, e-commerce. So basically consumer to consumer. So if you have anything that you want to sell, then you can take a picture of it and ship it to people and make money that way too. We are founded in Japan, and we're listed in Japan. We went IPO a couple of years ago, and now continuing to grow as well. So certainly looking forward to meeting many of you online. Thanks.
Thank you. And Mike from Nasuni.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. And Joe and the panelists and your team, Joe, thanks for having me. My name's Michael Beck. I'm a talent acquisition manager at Nasuni Corporation. Nasuni is a cloud file storage company that was started about 10 years ago by our CTO founder, Andres Rodriguez. What we do is we provide enterprise global clients the ability to migrate their data, from an on-premise storage solution to a cloud storage solution. We provide, essentially unstructured data files, global locking around that allows amazing collaboration. Before this, we were talking about the patents that we have that allow that collaboration. In the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about what we've allowed clients to do from a business continuity perspective. And we just had an all hands call today. It was really exciting because we also had to turn on a dime and everyone went remote, but we had everything in place to do that. So we have been able to prioritize our recs and our job openings. We adjusted slightly, but we still have job openings and we are onboarding and hiring now. We've switched to Zoom to do that. I'm looking forward to talking more and helping all of you, with resumes, any suggestions I can provide. I think this is it is actually going to create a lot of opportunities for people. And, I'd say, just keep looking forward about beyond this virus, and we're here to help. Thanks.
Thank you, panelists. And promise this will be the last question I'll ask for everybody to weigh in on. And panelists, feel free when we get to the resumes to chime in as the spirit moves you. But could we start with just giving me, what is the first thing you look at when you look at a resume or a LinkedIn profile? Maybe first few things that you look at that are unique to you, maybe perhaps as a reader, and you're allowed one pet peeve too, if you can think of one. What is maybe the biggest sticking point for you that says, I'm putting this on the side of the pile, or I'm shelving it, or I'm not going to connect with this person on LinkedIn, or what are the maybe 2 or 3 favorite things that you look at on a resume? And let's just go in alphabetical order one more time. I promise the last. Rob.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to describe. So the first thing I look at usually comes towards the top of the page, whatever I'm seeing, whether it's a LinkedIn page or a resume. And that's from me and my hiring managers, most importantly, what have you been doing recently? So we'll look at like your most recent position. And if you're not at that position anymore, maybe there's a little bit of explanation around that. See, we all have unique stories. And I get that, I empathize because I also, throughout my career, made career shifts. I myself got laid off from a company at one point. I had to make a shift and had to build my story again, even from shifting industries. So we all do have our own paths. And I think that resume needs to speak to that, especially recently. When you're applying for a job, a lot of recruiters will look at relevant experience, right? Like, have you done exactly what we're looking for before? Because then it's just a slam dunk. Doesn't have to be that way always. So if the story really blends in the right way, meaning like a unique aspect that I would look at would be like maybe in a summary, like what you are looking for and what your experience in the past draws upon now to pursue this type of role. That's what would really stand out to me. And again, like the first thing my eyes go to is like, what have they been doing as of most recent?
Sammy? You're muted, Sammy.
Now?
I can hear you.
Still bad. What was the, I'm sorry, I just came back on. What was the question?
Just the first few things you look at in a resume and
Yeah.
a pet peeve, maybe?
Yeah, so I agree with the previous comment on relevant experience. I think that is really, really important. And then also just looking at places that someone else has worked at, if that is similar to, or at least somewhat similar, like in our example, it would be within the real estate field. So if someone came over from like Compass, or, they're working at something that's moderately related, even fintech, that would be, something that would stand out. And if they don't have that direct experience, just being able to maybe, talk about stuff that's related to a product that they've built or something like that on the engineering side, that could translate well over to Lev. I think a pet peeve of mine when people are not clarifying dates so well. So I do see that sometimes, like, especially like, when they graduated and how many experiences.
Thank you, Sammy. You're still breaking up a little bit, but hope you can work it out. And Mok.
Yeah, hi. So I didn't think I mentioned this. I'm the CTO of Mercari. So I look at a lot of resumes from the software development perspective. First thing I look for is clarity of thought. And resume actually is a representation of that. And so one of my pet peeves is if it's too crowded and there's too much, I feel it's hard to read and understand who you are. So being really concise and get your foot in the door. I think that's what you want to do, is go to the next level of the interview or online interview. So From the resume, get to the point, get your foot in the door, keep it clean, neat. Yeah, and that's so, of course, the opposite piece is if it's too crowded and it's not clear what the message is, then it's hard for me to pick that person up. So yeah, it's just concise, clean, foot in the door.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, so the first thing I think about is, did this person customize their resume for Nasuni and for this job? Or is it a generic resume that they're just sending in? You know, because you might have skills in the financial services industry and the pharma industry. And if you're applying to a financial services firm, you should really tailor that resume to that side of your strength. So that's number one. I also like to think in terms of threes. So first being, what did this person do? What are they doing now? And what do they want to do? And you can think of that yourself. What did I do in the past? What am I doing now? And where do I want to be? And if you can understand that, just like what Mok said, if that comes across really crisply and clearly, it becomes very easy for us. You know, bullseye resumes are such easy hires, but the majority of resumes and the best hires I think I've made are, you know, transitioning someone, you know, into our space and looking for that. And I think you have to think about the recruiter or the hiring manager to say most of the time, you're not going to be a bullseye fit. So how do you make your resume attractive for that? And one of the things I've found is think in terms of taxonomy or a clada, if you will. So, you know, at the top you have domain, kingdom, phylum, class, all the way down to species. You know, does your resume speak to that lowest level, the species, and you're talking about tactical things, or are you speaking too high level at a kingdom or class level? For us at Nasuni, if I get a resume, it would be, you know, the top level would be SaaS, then cloud, then storage, then file systems, then NAS, which is network attached storage, then unstructured data, and so on. So if I see a resume that's like, I do performance for unstructured file data systems, that's a bullseye. But if I wasn't that type of company, that person would probably get thrown out. They should start higher up in the class or kingdom and say, hey, look, I'm an expert in software engineering using, you know, a variety of different languages. So I'll pause there, Joe, and happy to answer more questions.
I like the life sciences connection. Thank you. Well, let's jump right in. I'm going to pull up Adobe Acrobat here in my share screen functionality if it works. Hope everybody can see it. And a whole bunch of resumes here just to look at, and we'll apologize for butchering resumes with redactions, but my legal team tells me that's the best way to go. We've got phone numbers and email addresses and so forth off of here because we will publish this on YouTube later. But panelists, if you can see this first resume, and I intentionally started with some more experienced alums who have, you know, it's a writing challenge, it's an organizational challenge, it's all of the above when you have a career's worth of information to convey in one document. So this particular alum, I also wanted to meet this person because they were, this is my favorite part, a Top Gun instructor for US Navy Weapons School. That's pretty cool. But you know, there's professional experience first, right after they're identifying information. A nice, you know, heading of job titles, dates, clearly going in reverse chronological order as is custom. To education, a few nice credentials there and distinctions. What's missing from this resume, panelists? feel free to jump in at your leisure, or what's this person doing really right?
Hey,
You can
Joe.
answer both. Go ahead, Mike.
Joe, first of all, this was Guy's resume, and I just want to say, Guy, thank you for your service. My dad went to Annapolis as well, and you've got just a great career there. I'd like to say that I saw, you have all these specialties in defense, communications, speech, leadership. I mean, it's really over the top in what you can do. What I wanted to know is, what do you want to do? And I'd love to see that at the top, about what your goal is. But, clearly you would transfer to a lot of different leadership roles anywhere.
Anything else, Mok or Rob?
Yeah, I mean, this again, like I saw the Top Gun, I was like, I want to meet this person too. But it's really clear and very crisp. Love the resume. I would certainly bring this person in if you were applying for a software engineering position, of course. And I think just echoing that, it looks like it's a template that you might want to also make it a bit more unique depending on the position that you're looking for as well. One of the things as I see resumes are, it's really an advertising for yourself. And so more personalized it might be for the demand side. I think it'll be, there might be a higher rate of engagement. So I'm sure that piece might be there for specific needs, but I think that's the only piece that's missing. But it's really crisp, very clear. Really enjoyed reading this.
Yeah, I'd like to add, Mok, I totally agree with what you're saying about the cohesion of the story as well, and like trying to come across very crisply. It's just really interesting to hear what other like the panelists here use to review resumes, and I hope everybody does get to take a bit of this away as well. Like, crispness is very important when you have so much amazing experience like you see here, which can be very impressive. I worry about as a recruiter, like the overqualification of candidates. At times we find people who might be, maybe they're too qualified for something. And that could come in a variety of ways when you define it. So I guess one example would be, well, maybe they do have too much experience and they might be too expensive. Should we go after them? Are we budgeted for somebody at this level? And a second thing, which I think you might be able to derive some value from here, is what is the direction? They might be overqualified because there's so many skill sets, but like, what is it that they're using those skill sets for to drive towards? Hopefully it's that position. Hopefully you customize the resume to that. One easy way to do that, because likely you're going to want to apply to multiple positions that you really like. An easy way to do that would be to add some sort of ticker at the top, like a summary in a way, but really just like a reason why you're applying, and just state your intention of what you're heading towards and why the experience in the rest of the resume adds up to that. I will be honest, I'm not going to read every word on every person's resume when they submit. So often what I also do is keyword search. One thing that I really love about this resume here is that there are a bunch of keywords as well, plus some metrics. All of these quantitative pieces plus the keywords that can be found easily would help me also bring your resume to the top faster. So there's something to be said about having enough words on there, but there also needs to be that cohesive vision.
Thank you. And we are working at getting Sammy back online. But let's look at a second one. You know their first names, panelists, but I will call this alum number 2. And summary of qualifications at the top. We did not have that on the first one, but this is the typical sentence fragments that we see in a summary: multifaceted engineering project leader with more than 10 years in product development, innovator with proven record of managing large functional teams and fostering a highly productive, etc. List of skills at the top. This person is thinking, perhaps, as we have to in the mind of any kind of applicant tracking systems that are using keyword searches or scanning or automatically disqualifying candidates who don't have those words, which I'd love to hear your 2 cents on. Into professional experience, this person's done, again, another very experienced candidate here. a number of projects across a number of organizations, was president down to instructional instructor, senior technical staff member, and ending with education and awards bunched together in one category there. Quick takes from any of you.
Joe, on this one, I thought this was a great resume as well as the bullet points, but I would bring up that mechanical engineering at the bottom of the resume and promote that a little bit more at the top. I think there's some stuff you could clean up a little bit. Some of the adjectives, we don't really look at a lot of the adjectives, like hard-hitting business development or leading edge technology. Business development's fine for me, and technology's good for me, and that could reduce it if you look through things like that. And I think down the bottom, this person needs to decide what they really want to convey. They have the instructor information down there, and I think that you need to decide if you're going for an instructor or coaching or mentoring or leading type of role. Yeah, highlight that more. But I think you could have that as a one-liner actually, and focus on other things.
Yeah,
Rob or
this
Mok?
one, I like this a lot. I think one of the things I can point out is typically I look for chronology of the person's story. And that I think it was a little bit tougher here, mainly because it went from, of course, the present and going backwards, and then there's some things that are still 2007 to present, 2018 to present, and then 1996 and 1998. So it was a bit harder for me to stitch together your sort of career path, and trying to understand which direction that you might want to go or where you want to be. But other than that, layout wise, that was good. Yeah, the mechanical engineering piece, that's like, I think it's a big selling point at the bottom. So it might be worthy of being promoted. I agree.
Have you seen any elegant ways, any of you, in skipping blocks of years of service or entire, I mean, here are a few different professions, a couple different industries in this resume. Are there elegant ways to, just to summarize that and say, there's other experiences I have, I can give them to you if you want. I've seen that sometimes, right?
Yeah. I mean, to that point, Joe, what I've seen in resumes of candidates with a lot of experience where they say, I just don't want to spend, 5 pages worth of a CV to send to a recruiter because they're not going to read 5 pages. They'll take the latter 4 pages and condense them into kind of a block paragraph or bullet points, similar to, as you can see here, product development and engineering. And that kind of bullet points at the bottom of the resume would say, worked at these companies. And then in just like one descriptor, could be a word, a phrase, or something really short that says like what you did from that long ago. That really works for the past. But as far as like in between years, I think that might be a little jarring if you were to like condense like 5 years of experience, let's say, between the present and like 10 years ago. So I don't actually know how because I've never come across that, interstitial type condensing, but from before, that's how I've seen it. Has anyone else seen interstitial condensing?
Everybody's on mute, but there are ways to do it, of course, in the cover letter, and we're getting a lot of questions about cover letters. Any quick hot takes on cover letters that you like? What kind of cover letter would you envision for this person that would complement this resume nicely, or even the prior resume?
Right. Go ahead.
Or Mok, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So the cover letter for me, when you write the cover letter, think about what the hiring manager wants. What does the hiring manager want to accomplish, and tailor the cover letter to that goal rather than your own goal. I think that would actually help kind of format the cover letter that you want, if you think in the shoes of the hiring manager. The other thing is, if you want to tout your accomplishments, think about it in that group of threes. What was it like before I got there? What did I do? And what was that outcome or benefit to the company? If you do that at the top of the resume, on the cover letter, or even within jobs, that type of model, when I arrived, it was like this. This is what I ended up doing, and this is how it benefited the company. That's going to resonate with us really, really well.
Yeah, for me, I honestly don't look at cover letters. I think I prefer to hear the story from the resume perspective and the LinkedIn, of course. I think those are the two places that I look at. But also, I think it really depends on the stage of the interview and where you are, because we do have in-house recruiters and help that we get. And I think from that perspective, it might be more important to have a neat cover letter. But for me, maybe I'm too impatient. I go straight to trying to stitch together the story, and is the career path of this person going to be a good fit for us, and can we have a mutual, wonderful mutual relationship? That's sort of the thing that I look for. Yeah.
Just to expand on that too, I completely agree with the cover letter. I often don't look. Then again, if I do see it when people normally don't submit it on average for a certain type of role, like engineering, sometimes I will take a chance and I'll say, you know what, I'll look. There's nothing that like, because I didn't mention my pet peeve at the beginning of this call, and I was like, oh, I should have mentioned one. I think one of my pet peeves is cover letters that are generic, beyond resumes that are generic, because I've had to take another minute to look at another attachment, and there was no information I learned from it when something is so generic, which is unfortunate, because the cover letter, if a recruiter does look at it, it kind of is your place to, you know, say something additional. It should complement the resume, but it should also like speak a little more personally as opposed to professional, I think. The cover letters that have really stood out to me are really good writers, people who are just very genuine. That's what we look for at Knotch as well, like a genuine aspect where people want to pursue this opportunity because they feel it might be right for them and for whatever reason. But the cover letter isn't the only place that you can do that. It is a place that can help, but I would say LinkedIn, I check way more. And often I do get messages on LinkedIn from people, which I will review as well. Again, the generic ones, they don't really go far. But if somebody says, hey, I saw this role, I think it's a good fit because of XYZ, plus I saw this in the news, that piques my interest. That's something that's interesting to me. So again, it's about being creative and very genuine for me.
Thank you. I'm just aware of the time. I would like to look at a few more experienced hires. I've got some rapid fire round, I'm calling them, resumes. If I can run through a few of those, because I also promised let's look at some LinkedIn profiles, and Alumni submitted a nice crop of LinkedIn profiles. So we'll get to those in the last couple minutes too. But gentlemen, one quick take on maybe 5 to 10 of these one pagers here, and I'm just going to jump to our panelists have seen all of these ahead of time. Rapid fire resume number 1 is a class of 2016 graduate, has some professional experience already, obviously through MIT years and undergrad years too, right? That was an undergraduate degree from Texas A&M, and some research and professional memberships, competencies and awards. How about for this person? Something you love, something you would change right away.
I'll start off. I love the competencies aspect. Again, for me, it's the keywords. And especially when I'm hiring for software engineers, we need for specific roles to know if they can code in a certain language. So I love to see like over here, like Java and C++, even though that's not what we use at Knotch. That's something that I'd be able to find via keyword. So that's great. Also having that at the bottom, I think is important. It's like an extra skill. The awards are really cool. Again, I think that colors in the story of like this person is an achiever. So I love that. Joe, could you scroll up to the top? There was something I was going to mention. Right. So education being at the top, unless there's an exact reason why you feel education should lead off your story, I would likely put education more towards the bottom. Again, because like I told you at the beginning of the webinar, what we really look for is what have you been working on now? And then how can I piece the story of you as a candidate together as I go through your resume?
Panelists, I'm sorry, this is Lord of the Flies, but you've got to speak first if you want to speak. I'm jumping on to rapid fire number 2. A senior engineer and team lead heading. List of competencies, qualifications on the left. We've got a 3-paragraph summary. That red dot is my typo.
So this
Career
resume,
achievements. Go ahead.
Joe, this resume, it confused me when I first looked at it because I didn't know to look left, to look to the right, or the bottom summary. So it was kind of like 3 summaries, and I'd really just recommend, like, what is the crux that this person wants to pull out of here, you know, and then present that as, you know, the main point.
Joe, I think you're muted.
Number 3 here, rapid fire number 3. We've got education first. This is a PhD degree next year and a master's degree a couple years ago.
I can say something. I did my PhD, so I mean, I like it. One of the things I question here is that your graduation date says June 2021, and as I usually joke with my wife that, well, you know, when I was doing my PhD, she'll always ask me how many more years, and I'll always say always 2 more years. So I do question if you're going to graduate in 2021 or not. But that joke aside, congratulations on the date. Yeah, I think it's really great because I think it's more on the research side. I'm assuming that this person's looking for an academic position. So having a lot of the publications at the bottom is very impressive. And also it's not too long, and it also makes me want to read the highlights and the bullet points, and it's very concise and it's very good. So yeah, like, well done. I don't mind the education on top because you're still at school, but it's good resume. I actually enjoyed reading this.
Rapid fire number 4, a Master of Financial Math, class of 2017, undergraduate from Nanjing, experience. And this is a 1-pager, 1 project, and some additional information at the bottom. Any quick takes here?
Yeah, I'd say this resume is going to be in high demand right now because of all the analytics and data analysis going on. So just put that at the top of your resume and combine the financial and bio work that you've done, and then expand that to other verticals as well. So you know, you have transferable skills to so many different industries.
This is a resume of a person named Omar, because you can see it in the heading. Sorry, I did not redact that, Omar, but this is Omar's resume. Summary at the top. Education, skills, experience. Something you love, something you change right away. And for a youngin', Omar, you've got 3 pages here, into 4. Ending with a sizable list of journal publications. Any of the panelists want an interview with Omar right away? I'm going to prompt Mike, or you're muted. Or
Yeah,
Rob.
Joe, just move up a little bit. I think there was something right on the little bit further. First job. I wanted to see the first job. Okay, experience. So this this, I think there's an opportunity here, you know, operations researcher. You know, I think this could be bulked up a little bit more. So think about title versus what you're actually doing, and, you know, use that to, you know, create your brand, right? What's your brand and what do you want to be recognized for? Operations researcher could carry so many different things. So
Good. And squeeze just a couple more in here. Rapid fire number 6, right into work experience. It's an ICF associate. Number of bullets there. 2 other jobs. Master of Science from MIT a couple years ago. Other significant professional experiences, skills, and research.
I just like to say I like the amount of bullet points here. I think that it really does have that conciseness to it, even though there is quite a bit of explanation. I can look at this and my eyes aren't getting tired, which is great. But also, like it's pretty on the nose, I think, as far as what you're referring to. So even in just the first bullet point, like what research you conducted in various aspects of energy and climate, like you're defining those. You know, if I were looking for somebody to work in that industry, I would know that you have that experience already. Again, I think that's really specific, and that would be really helpful to you.
While we're looking at a resume without a summary, let me ask panelists, very popular question from Andrew, is resume summary a fad that will go away eventually and we should just skip it?
I don't think so. For me, I think that's an area where you can tailor what you want from a specific position that you're applying for. So the point, again, as I mentioned before, foot in the door, stand out. In order to do that, being able to succinctly communicate why this is a relevant position and why you will make the company more successful by being there. I think that's very helpful for me. So not a long narrative, but something that's concise, and we can TLDR version of, okay, I get this person, interesting, what's next? So I think for me, I think it's very helpful. Might be the new cover letter, I think.
New cover letter. And
Joe, I wanted to add to that on that resume that, you know, if that person's applying for that research, energy, climate and energy analyst role, this resume works perfectly. It's an ideal resume. It's a bullseye, right? But if they're applying for anything else, then they need to have that summary there.
Good. Time for one more here. And this alum does start with a summary. A nice flourish of champagne bubbles at the top, and right into education, skills, experience.
So Joe, on this resume, I just want to caution that a lot of resumes go into applicant tracking systems, and the applicant tracking systems sometimes, you know, are very good at reading colors, but this resume, I was concerned that maybe some of the words might not get picked up when it goes into an ATS. Also, I think this person's adding a lot of buzzwords on some common skill sets, you know, Microsoft Word and Excel and Google and things. And I think that real estate on the resume could be used to promote something else as well.
That's all the time we have, I'm afraid, for our panelists, and apologies once again to Sammy Greenwall from Lev Capital. Technical difficulties. He promises he's going to try to join us in his own breakout very shortly. We thank our panelists from Knotch, Lev Capital, Mercari, and Nasuni. Thanks to our alumni viewers for tuning in. So in just a minute, we'll open those breakout rooms where you can hear a little bit more about each company, ask any continued questions about resumes or about current opportunities at those companies. And feel free to grab those breakout links from either the chat, which will close shortly, but also from that reminder email you got this morning. Today's presentation, again, will be on the MIT Alumni Association YouTube channel within a week from today. And if you want more, please visit alum.mit/edu/careers. You can sign up for future webcasts, join the MIT Alumni Advisors Hub to get career advice from fellow peers, and learn about other regional hiring events coming up. Any questions about today's webinar, you can email alumnicareers@mit.edu. Thanks again to our panelists, and now let's open the breakouts. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And for more information on how to connect with the MIT Alumni Association, please visit our website.